Alright, boys. The Tyrant Neptune is innocent. I think Konami, you put the wrong guy behind the bars. If you guys didn't know, this guy was banned in the OG. TCG was like, let's ban him too, man. But I think Konami messed up. Hashtag free my boy Tyrant. But anyways, the reason why this guy is actually banned, apparently, is because of the Lyrical Lucina combo that you could use with it that can actually OTK your opponent, and pretty much he was just invulnerable to most things in the game, minus Kaijus. Now, before someone even starts saying anything about Kaijus, this one, guys, is even better, and that's why I think they locked up the wrong person. They put the wrong person behind the bars. As you guys will see, you can actually FTK with the new Venom card. I'm going to call it Venom Bird FTK. Enjoy losing to this, guys, because it seems like it's going to be pretty annoying to face up against. Plus, it's really consistent with triple alert. So, let me go and explain the combo real quick. So, you guys didn't know before, the Independent Nightingale. This is what actually got Tyrant Neptune banned. Like, again, I feel like they should have just banned this card if this was a problem. Because now we're going to be able to do FTKs still using the same card. But anyways, it doesn't really matter how you get it out. You don't even need to get it out. You just need it in the graveyard, or actually, if your opponent actually has it in the graveyard, you can actually do the combo as well. But anyways, so the main effect that you guys are going to be using it for is this card gains attack. I'll mouse over it right here. It says this card gains attack equal to its level times 500, and it's unaffected by other cards. Once per turn, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to this card's level times 500. So, with the newer card, the Supreme King Servant Dragon Starving Venom card, this card can actually copy effects. So anyways, it just requires 2 Dark Pendulums, which in this deck, it's going to be really consistent to pull off. It must be either Fusion Summoned or Special Summoned by tributing the above cards you control, and in which case, you don't use Polymerization. And it cannot be special summoned by other ways. But once per turn, you can target one other monster on the field or in either player's graveyard. Until the end phase, this card's name becomes that monster's original name and replace this effect with that monster's original effects. Also, you get to do piercing if it battles. But again, this is an FTK. This one is strictly FTK. That I'm going to show you guys once we get into the Dark Profile. But as you guys will see, you're just going to go ahead, copy it, and you're just going to burn your opponent for 4,000 points of damage. Completely fair, completely balanced. And then we're going to see that once again, he's just going to go ahead and just make another one. 2 Dark Pendulums is pretty consistent in the game. And again, you don't even need to go for instant fusion. The card can be in the graveyard. You don't even need your normal summon in this deck. And that's what makes it super deadly, especially with 3 alerts. And there's so many new Pendulum cards coming out, guys. This could definitely be a threat. And I know someone's going to say, but what about Link Summon? Guys, again, you don't even need to have this card out on the field. It can be in the grave as well. But I know some of you guys want the deck profile, so let me go and give you the Venom Bird FTK deck. And shout outs to Loft and Brody Rob. Brody Rob's the guy that sent it, and Lofts is the guy that actually created this deck. So anyways, let's go and go to the deck edit, and I'll show you guys the Venom Bird FTK deck. So pretty much, like I said, it's the same concept almost as the Tyrant Lucina. I'll link that video if anyone wants to check it out. You can't play that anymore, but for the sake of nostalgia, if anyone wants to check it out, that's why the guy's banned, though. I just don't feel like he was the right person. Hashtag, again, free my boy Tyrant. He didn't do nothing. It's this girl's fault, actually, that he got banned. And what's next? Are they gonna ban, like, Starving Venom? Like, because of this? I don't know. You guys let me know if you guys think that this should be banned, because until you guys see this deck, you'll see that it's pretty consistent, and then everybody for the next week gonna be playing this deck, and you guys complain to me that I showcased it off. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So anyways, it's a bunch of just Dark Pendulums. So we got 3 copies of the new Astrograph Sorcerer, 3 copies of the new Chronograph Sorcerer. Again, just pretty much just Dark Pendulums. But during your main phase, well, okay, we should go over this effect first. During your main phase, you can destroy this card, and if you do, place in your Pendulum Zone or special summon 1 Stargazer Magician. So basically, they just kind of like replace themselves. And then for Chronograph Sorcerer, during your main phase, you can destroy this card, and if you do, you can just special summon 1 Time Gazer. So these are like the new upgraded versions, I want to say, of the like classic original Pendulum monsters that we had a while back. But yeah, just 3 copies of him, 3 copies of him, 3 copies of Stargazer Magician, 1 copy of Skullcrobat Joker. He's only at 1. I hear he's pretty good though, but really, really good effect. Just because, again, you don't even need your normal summon, so basically he replenishes himself, and he's a Dark Pendulum monster. That, I think, is too easy, honestly. Again, you don't even need to use Poly if you control those cards in the first place, so that can be really dirty. And then we have 3 copies of a newer card, Violet Poison Magician. So if a Dark Spellcaster monster you control battles, you can make that monster gain 1200 attack, but it doesn't matter because you're not going to use that effect anyways. But anyways, Right, this card actually has a good monster effect. Just in case you don't pull off the FTK, if this card is destroyed with battle or by card effect, you can target one face-up card in the field and destroy it. So keep that in mind as well. Next up, we have 3 copies of Rescue Hamster. This dirty little guy over here. You don't need your normal summon, so you can use its effect where you can normal summon it, and if you have a face at level 5 or lower pendulum card in your extra deck, you can distribute it and choose one face at level 5 or lower pendulum card in your extra deck, spell summon 2 of them. Their effects are negated and they're destroying the end phase, but don't worry because there's never going to be an end phase. You're going to win that turn. At least, let's hope you do, unless you get effect bailered or wrecked by, I don't know, something Herald of Orange like. Okay, next up we got 3 copies of Time Gazer. And then we have 2 copies of SLAYDRA. Again, you don't need your normal summon in this deck anyways, so you guys can have access to this. And before someone says, wait, where's Upstart? You actually don't want Upstart. I guess if you summon this card multiple times, if you summon it twice, you could do it, but for the most part, no, you're not going to be able to realistically use Upstart Goblin in the deck. But anyways, SLAYDRA just sends this card to the graveyard, therefore you can use the Supreme King Servant Dragon Starving Venom. Dang, that name is too long. But you can go ahead and just copy its effect. Next up, we got 3 copies of Lure, which really helps out deck. 3 copies of Instant Fusion, which is basically all you need is either one of the Instant Fusions or SLAYDRA to really set up the deck. And then after that, it's pretty simple. But anyways, 3 Instant Fusion, 1 Shuffle Reborn. So you control no monsters, target 1 monster in your graveyard to spell summon it. Its effects are negated, but it's going to be kind of irrelevant because you're just copying its effects. Anyways, it has another effect that I want to mention. You can banish this card from the graveyard, target 1 card you control, shuffle into the deck, and then you can draw an extra card. So that's a really cool effect. And then we have 2 copies of Pot of Desires. It is an FTK deck, so that's a pretty good card. And then we have 1 Duelist Advent. So if a card is in the Pendulum Zone, you get to just add a Pendulum monster. That's pretty free, pretty good, I hear. Especially when this card like replenishes itself already. Next up, we have Amazing Pendulum. So if you control no cards in your Pendulum Zones, you can add 2 face-up Pendulum Magician monsters with different names. So this one was a +1 already. Really dirty stuff indeed. And then we have Advanced Draw over here. Lets you kind of cycle through cards. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this, but like this card doesn't really do anything on board, so I guess it can cycle cards. But you guys can drop that if you want to. Next up, we have Pendulum Call. Really good card. It's at 1. Next up, we have Pendulum Fusion. So you get to fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion materials. But if you have 2 cards in your Pendulum Zones, you can just use those ones. You can only activate a lot of these cards. You can only activate once per turn, but it don't matter because you only need 1 turn anyways. Then next up, we got 3 copies of Into the Void, 1 Hand Destruction, and 1 Contract with the Dawn 1000. Which is basically like a new version of Chicken Game. Again, I feel like some of these cards are just too similar to things that we've already banned Konami. Like, if you guys didn't know, there's a card very similar. Although this one kind of does more things. It can kind of stun your opponent depending on what they're playing. But it's basically like Chicken Game all over again. Each player loses 1,000 life points. And at this point, you could technically run Upstart Goblin if you have this card. But I don't know if it's worth the risk. You guys can go for it if you want to. But it's basically just Chicken Game all over again. But for the extra deck, 3 copies of Supreme King Servant Dragon Starving Venom. And then we have 2 copies of In Chest. And then we got 1 Norden, so you can bring back this card if you want to. Or it's still like as good just to maybe go for some other combos. Maybe your opponent has some type of back row and you can go for Instant Fusion Norden. And you'll have access to some other extended plays before you go for your play. 1 copy of Nightingale. I think you should bump this card up to 2. I know that someone's going to say, well, you just copy it in the graveyard. True, but what if it gets like banished or completely wrecked? However they get rid of it. I just think that in an FTK deck, why not just play 2 of the key cards that are really required? So I definitely think you can bump this up to, you can drop like this or whatever you guys want to drop out. Most of these cards you're not going to make anyways, honestly, but might as well fill up the extra deck with extra cards. But I think it's a pretty cheesy deck, but again, I think my boy's innocent. Let me know, guys, if you guys think that this is a deck that is going to be a threat. Because I know a lot of people want to try it out. Because when I made that Tyrant Neptune deck, I know a lot of people were playing it and people complained about how annoying that deck was. If you didn't have a Kaiju, yeah, but this one, Kaijus can't even stop it, guys, because it's too fast. It's a FTK, faster than the OTK. Free my boy Tyrant. Tyrant is innocent, Konami. Bring him off the ban list. You need to lock her up. She framed him. They banned the wrong card, but that's the way I see it. If Tyrant Neptune was so good that he had to be banned, then I think you should have just banned her. Or I know this is a new card, so they gotta wait until they ban this guy, if they're gonna ban him. But I don't know, that's just how I feel about it. I didn't think that Tyrant Neptune was so broken that he needed to be banned, but a lot of people thought it was kind of broken. I don't know. You guys can argue about that comment section below. But have fun with the deck, guys, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys give the like button a slap-a-reno and hit that subscribe button for more crazy Yu-Gi-Oh combos and FTK videos.